Hello there, this is Leslie North, and this is my third posting on just not, it's the video, not video, it's but if you get it all into a bucket before it dries. I was talking a little bit last night about I made a passing reference to my seafood allergy, which I was not born with. I didn't sort of acquire it the way that you normally would acquire an allergy. It's more of a psychological trauma that I have with that particular genre of food, and I want to talk about how that came about. It all happened when I was a child, and I used to love going into this forest behind my great uncle and aunt's country house up in Dirgeburg, Ohio, and I'd spend many summers there. It was a great place, lots of great memories, lots of. I know. I mean, none of the kids there really liked me, but I did get chased around with a big stick one time, and I broke my tooth got my mouth caught on a twig once. That wasn't a good time. Um, but anyway, I was there with this guy called Little Snickety, and Little Snickety was this kind of, well, he actually had dwarfism, it turned out, but we didn't know that at the time because, being kids, he hadn't actually, uh, it wasn't totally obvious that he had a height dysfunction at that point. But yeah, I would go with Snickety to the out of the back out through the forest behind my great uncle and aunt's place, and we one time we went all the way through the forest and down into this kind of gulch, and up on the top of the hill, on the other side of the hill, there was a tree. I mean, it was visible from the forest, but we'd never actually gone right up close to it. And what we found when we went back down the hill to the tree, to the base of the tree, is that there was like a caravan it must have been there for so long that it had actually been picked up by the tree. The tree had grown underneath it and picked it up, and it was in the tree, but it wasn't in the top of the tree. It was kind of lower down, so I don't really understand what was going on there. Did somebody pick it up and throw it into the tree? I don't know. I guess some things are better not thought about. But I guess it also really foreshadows the event, the kind of creepiness of the event that uh, took place there that left me with my psychological scarring. Um, so me and Little Snickety were, we were over the moon when we saw this thing. I mean, it was like a tree house that had already been made, and it was a tree house with vinyl couches and beds. The beds had been rotted out, and it was obvious that some sort of raccoon or some kind of varmint had been nesting in there, and it did smell of animal feces and other waste products. But other than that, it was a great find. And we went in, but the problem was with the caravan was that it had kind of, I mean, the tree hadn't quite picked it up at a level angle. It had sort of picked it up at a funny angle, and so the caravan was sloping one way. And but when we got inside, we found that it was actually really kind of pimped up. It was really fitted out with all this crazy stuff, and someone had come along, over the years. Who knows how long it had been there for. And it had been looted as well, and maybe not, maybe that smell of excrement wasn't just animal excrement. I mean, think about it now, they're probably, you know, but we were hanging out in this thing, and it was really nice, and it was really cool and stuff. But the first thing we realized was that there was no power to this thing. But on the side of the caravan, uh, there was like a generator type of thing, and Snickety's old man was an electrician, and so the kid had quite a mind about him in this field of it was his forte. He did know a few things about electrics and how to get things running again, and so forth. And he went out the side, and he said, I'm gonna get, in his little kind of snickety voice, like, I'm gonna give this a good look at. And that was kind of how he talked. And he was like, I'm gonna give this a good look at. I'm gonna go have a look see out the back, see if I can kickstart that generator. And I was like, okay, man, okay, Snickety, go do that, man. And he went out the back and did whatever he was doing. I think it was just a simple kind of diesel generator or something attached to the side of the caravan. And so he obviously got some fuel from somewhere, or maybe there was just a can on the back, I don't know. And he got the thing going, and he gave it, it kicked over, and so the power was going, okay? And he comes back in, and he hits the switch just on the inside of the door to see if anything's going, and he didn't hit the light switch though. He hit the switch underneath it, which was for the ceiling fan, and it had this lovely, lovely kind of custom-made ceiling fan, which I thought somebody would have stolen, but it was still there. It was still intact, and it was kind of had this nice little wooden mesh stuff on it, and it was really kind of fancy. And so there I was, sitting on the edge at the back of the caravan on a vinyl couch. The fan starts spinning, and flying off the blades of the fan were the skeletons of about maybe 5 or 6 dead goldfish. Now, I don't know what the hell what those things were doing on top of the fan, but these goldfish skeletons were intact. They were perfectly intact, and they flew off the fan, and one of them, well, actually a couple of them, flew straight at me. One of them, because I was in such shock, I was watching, it was like watching it happening in slow motion, because the fan just started spinning so quickly, and these 2 fish skeletons just headed straight for me, and I was kind of mouth wide open, I was like, what the and the fish skeleton went down my mouth, and I was choking at that point. I was terrified, and I was choking, and little Snickety, he knew the Heimlich, and he's got me, and he's trying to do it, but he couldn't. He was too small, man. His arms couldn't even get his arms around me, So he kind of carries me, kind of half carries me, because can't really carry me. But we go back through the forest, and he drags me through the marsh, and I can't breathe, and I'm about to pass out, and then I do pass out, and then he's just dragging me by the arm, and there's all these, he goes for the water, and all these leeches and stuff are getting stuck in my legs, and and we get back to my great uncle and aunts. And, Rosalita, the maid, she's there pulling leeches off my legs. She pulled my pants off. She pulled leeches off my junk, okay? This was very embarrassing, because I kind of also had a thing for her as well, because she had those nice kind of Latino curves. And, she wasn't that old, and that was embarrassing, And then, my great uncle, Giorgio, he's got a grip like a Siberian, one of those big Russian bears that are in the circus, whatever they're called, and he gets around me, and he just goes 1, 2, and that is out of my mouth,